Welcome back to my channel. It's been like 6 months. My last video was in July and then I just disappeared for 6 months. I feel like August, September was really busy, so I just did not have time to film anything. And then, I don't know, it was like, oh, it's been too long and there's too much that has happened since my last video. So now I need to do a video to catch you up. And it's the 31st of December, 2024. It's New Year's Eve. And I feel like I need to film something before the year is up. I need to recap the last 6 months of the year and then put it out there. So then hopefully I can start fresh next year and try again. But before I get into the end of year sort of wrap up, I need to tell you what has been happening, what's been going on. So here we go. I actually just had to sit for like an hour and write out a whole list of things on my old phone of what has happened since the last video. So the last you heard of me was like mid-July. It was my 5-year coming out anniversary, I think I said, and it was like the middle of winter, it was freezing cold, and now it's like the middle of summer and it's hot. And I thought it's the end of the year, so I'm gonna wear my Eras Tour shirt. So towards the end of July, that was the start of term 3 of school. So I started the 69 hard challenge. So you may have heard of the 75 hard challenge before, where you have like a strict list of rules that you sort of have to follow. It's not necessarily like a fitness challenge, but it's more of like a habit building challenge. And when I saw that the first day of term 3 and the last day of term 3, it was like 68 days long, I was like, okay, I can start this the first day of term 3, and then that's a good way to keep track of how I'm going. It'll just be like a term 3 challenge. And instead of doing 68 days just for term 3, and instead of doing 75, I'm gonna do 69, because that's funny. So that's what I did. So I did the 69 hard challenge. So I would go to the gym in the morning, go to work, and then do a walk after school, because you had to do 2 workouts of at least 45 minutes each, and at least one of them had to be outdoors. So basically through the middle of winter, I was doing a gym session in the morning and a walk after work every day and on weekends. Rain, hail, 8 degrees or shine. There were some really cold days, but it was worth it. Like, it was so, and there were some rainy days. I think there was maybe 3 or 4 walks that I had to do in the rain, but it was worth it. It was so good, and it just made me feel so much better about myself. And I feel like I've had, up to this point, I had been going to the gym 3 or 4 days a week and wasn't really making much difference, but this challenge kept it consistent and really kept myself accountable. And you had to drink no alcohol, but I had at least 3 special events in that term, and I didn't want to miss out on those. And I felt like my first 6 months, I'd probably said it on this channel before, was quite boring, so I wanted to not miss out on those events. So I only drank 3 times or 4 times maybe. It was for special events like birthdays and some other celebration that was like free or whatever. Anyway, so I did the 69 hard challenge, and because I was doing that, it was just literally wake up at 4 in the morning, go to the gym, go to work, after work, go for a walk, then come home, have dinner, go straight to bed. Like, I feel like through the week I didn't have time and there wasn't much going on, so I didn't really film anything. And then on the weekends I would try and go to the gym and do my walk in the morning, so then I have the rest of the day. But then it's like, all right, I gotta do my groceries, I gotta do my meal prep. So I feel like that would take a whole day on the weekend, and then I would just want a day of rest, basically. So I would go to the gym, go for a walk on a Sunday morning, and then just chill for the rest of the day, or I don't know, try and do something fun. So that was that was July. That was whatever you missed, beginning in July. That challenge started in July and ended at the end of September, and I did it. I completed it. Even when I had like a concert on, there was a couple of nights where I had a concert or a birthday or something like that. I think there was, just trying to think, I think there was one day where I knew I had to go straight from work to Maitland or Newcastle or whatever for a birthday. So I got up an hour earlier. I went to the gym at 3 instead of 4, so I could do the gym and my walk before work. Crazy, but it was so good. Like, that challenge was so worth it. And even a few months later, I'm still trying to incorporate all of the restrictions I sort of set myself. Like, you had to stick to a strict meal plan, you had to not drink alcohol, you had to no cheat meals and things like that, and exercise twice a day, and it was just really good. So I pretty much still try and do almost all of those things on a daily basis anyway. I stick to a meal plan as is, so I feel like that was a good way for me to stay on track. August was my dad's 50th. My dad is 50 now, which is crazy because a lot of my friends have parents that are older. I feel like my parents are like the youngest of my sort of friendship group. So for my dad to turn 50 is just kind of crazy. So happy birthday, Dad. Then the following days after my dad's birthday, I test drove my dream car. And I'd been saying all year that, like, next year I'm going to get a new car. Like, end of next year, I'll save a bit of money, and then end of 2025, I'll get a new car. But then it just so happened to work out that I got approved for a loan through work to get a car, the car that I really wanted. So I bought a Lexus. So I now have a Lexus, which I've been dreaming of for the last few years. I don't even know how long it's been. Probably 4 or 5 years. I've been thinking that, yes, my next car will be a Lexus. And it is. I have been driving a Lexus for a couple of months now, and it's just amazing. And my old car, my little green machine, which I don't think I've showed on here for obvious privacy reasons, but my little green machine, my sister actually bought it off me because she's about to get her Ps next year anyway. So my little green machine that's been in my life since I was 17 is still in the family, which is really cute. Also in August, I became obsessed with Josh and Matt. They are on TikTok and Instagram, Josh and Matt Designs, or just Josh and Matt, I think. I think I discovered one of their reels and I thought it was really funny. And then I get so set on certain TV shows and whatnot that I can't just pick them up from a random point in time. I have to start everything from the beginning so I know the full context of everything that's happening in a show. So that was no excuse for Josh and Matt's Instagram and TikTok. So when I discovered them in like September, this was like when I was sort of in the peak of doing the 69 hard challenge. It just became a part of my routine when I eat breakfast to watch Josh and Matt's reels on Instagram. And they have like 2,500 on their Instagram. And I scrolled all the way back to the start and started watching them. So I don't know like why I feel the need to mention this, but it was just an addiction that I became obsessed with watching them every day. And now they post a video like once every couple of days and I still watch them because it's just so good. So highly recommend. Lots of love, Josh and Matt. Oh yes, so I said I test drove a Lexus and then I bought a Lexus. So exciting. And then at the end of August, because obviously my budget is a lot tighter now that I have a car loan, I started house hunting with one of my best friends. Because even just living in my apartment by myself, where I used to be, I'm not there anymore. Spoiler alert. I moved. So the end of August, my friend and I started house hunting because the apartment that I was staying at by myself was just way too expensive for me to pay on my own. And I was kind of just over being so lonely all the time. And my friend and I were talking about in 2025 about moving out when my lease was up. But a part of me was like, no, why rush? Why wait? So I broke my lease, and the amount of money that I spent to break my lease, I've already earned back by paying cheaper rent by sharing somewhere with my friends. So we're now in a lot nicer area. It's obviously 2 bedrooms, and it's just so nice. And I feel like at my last apartment, there was a lot of trauma attached to that place for reasons that I won't get into today, maybe for another day. There was just a lot of trauma attached to that place. So to get out of there was just the best thing that I could do. And to actually be able to save money now that I'm not paying such high rent is great. And to have my friends' company all the time, I thought it would be weird to get used to because I was just so used to living by myself for quite a while and being quite independent. I was like, I do like my own time. But now living with her, like we hang out all the time and watch movies all the time, and it's great. And I think especially in the last couple of months, it's been good to have her company, and I've definitely really relied on her company for more reasons that I won't get into today. So we started apartment hunting, then we got approved for our new place, and then we moved in. And it was really exciting to move in because it's such a nicer area, such a bigger space, such cheaper rent, living with great company now as well. But I was a bit emotional as I was cleaning up my old apartment because that was my first place in Sydney and so much had happened there, and I feel like I changed so much as a person there. So when I went back to clean up the whole apartment and then basically say goodbye for the last time, it was really emotional. I was a mess. I was a wreck. But looking back at that now, I look back at my previous YouTube videos and like memories from that apartment, and it just like triggers something in me that I don't have to deal with anymore, which is great. So living in this place is the best thing that I could have done. So within September, I had bought a new car and moved apartments. Like, it was a big month. Huge. What else happened in September? Got the car, moved out. A week later, completed the 69 Hard Challenge. So while I was doing all of those things, I was still doing the challenge every day, which was crazy, but it was so good. And also, while I was at work, I completed my teacher accreditation. Because in the first 5 years, I think it is, of a full-time teacher's career, once you graduate uni, you have to sort of collect all this evidence to prove that you are an accredited teacher and that you are a proficient proficient teacher. And it was a lot more work than I sort of anticipated, but it wasn't too bad, and I got approved, and I'm now an accredited primary school teacher. Slay. October, Olivia Rodrigo concert. That was so much fun. My siblings and I think we were going to do this in September, in the school holidays around that time, but it just didn't work out because my grandma was quite sick and in and out of hospital a few times. But my siblings and I organised a surprise sleepover at the grandparents' place. You may have seen some TikToks and some Instagrams about the surprise sleepover trend that a lot of grandkids and cousins and whatnot were doing for their grandparents. It was so cute, such a great idea. So we decided to do that. Maybe I will insert the video I made here. Hello. Good. How are you? Good. Oh. Sorry.
Too excited.
Sorry. How are you?
All right.
Good.
How you going, darling? Yeah.
Oh, not much. Good. Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Oh, I've got somebody else to play with.
Yeah, you tow it. Dad's doing brakes. Good. Hello.
How did you get here?
When you got coffees yesterday?
Where's it at?
Well, the mates I come.
Christ! What's going on?
Hello.
I just said all we need now is for the girls to come.
What are you all doing here?
What are you doing
What
here?
are you doing here?
Oh.
Doesn't know what to do. It's just packs off.
Oh, what are you all doing here?
Hello? Oh, Kathy. Hello? Okay. Hello? Crazy dog. Well,
This is very nice. Doesn't happen very often.
yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Well,
Well.
can we sleep over?
If you want.
Cool, because we're going to. That's why we're here. We're here for a sleepover.
I don't know where you're going to sleep. I've got a single bed,
Yeah,
a double bed.
we got mattresses.
No.
No,
We
do.
do.
Oh, yeah.
We
Hey,
got,
yes.
yeah. Is that alright?
Hey.
No.
We want to come for a sleepover. So we can surprise you.
What, 4 years?
Yeah.
Is that alright?
I don't think I believe.
We got blow up mattresses.
Yeah, where are you going to put it?
In the lounge
On the
room.
floor?
Is that alright?
Not a problem.
We brought our own breakfast. We've got our own dinner. Just want to come
That's
for
good because I only have yogurt for my dinner.
Is that alright?
Yes.
Well, you can sleep out the deck with the cat.
So that was really fun. That was really cute and wholesome. It was so sweet. We just watched movies that we used to watch when we would stay there. We ate like breakfast, the same breakfast that my grandma would always make us when we would have sleepovers there as a kid. And we watched all of our old dance concert videos, which was so cute, so funny. Then a couple of weeks later was Coldplay concert. With my mum, that was really cute. Coldplay's, they put on such a good performance. I've always wanted to go to one of their shows, so thanks mum for taking me. Then, like literally, I think the night of Coldplay, not the night of Coldplay, but the morning I woke up to go to Coldplay concert, like I was starting to get a bit of a cold, and then I went to the concert that night, and it was cold, kind of cold and rainy and whatnot, and I was outside the whole time, and then the next morning I woke up and I felt so sick, so I had a day off work, which is quite rare. I don't have much time off work at all. So for me to call in sick for work was a big deal. And then for the next like couple of weeks, I just had this really bad sinus infection. And I know it sounds silly, like why am I bringing it up? I'm still like sniffly now. This was October. This was end of October and it's now end of December and I'm still like not 100% over it. It was just really strange. So I felt like I was really into my 69 hard challenge, post challenge routine, still trying to do as much of it as I could. Then I got sick and I just couldn't go to the gym for like a whole week. And then I would go back the next week for a day and then the next day I'd be feeling really shitty. So like I just couldn't get back into the routine that I was in for that long time, but what can you do? Then in November, I've only got a few things mentioned here. I saw Wicked, and I'm mentioning that because it's just amazing. Amazing. Saw it the day after it came out, and that was like over a month ago, and I still have not stopped listening to the soundtrack. It's just so good. Oh, it's just iconic. And then on Boxing Day, my sister and I went and saw it again because we both really wanted to see it for a second time, and it was just even better because I had been listening to the soundtrack non-stop, and it was good to see it again, like knowing what to expect, sort of thing. So that was really good. At the end of November, I went to a festival in Newcastle called House Party. Troye Sivan was there, and G Flip was there. G Flip was amazing.
She said she's only gay for me, and I don't know what to believe. Yeah, she said she's only gay for me, gay for me. Oh, she said she's only gay for me, and I don't know what to believe. Yeah, she said she's only gay for me. She said she's only gay for me.
Slay. They were so good. And Troy.
Okay, here's the plan. I'm gonna fly you out to Amsterdam. I gotta get back to the fuck you. Come see me. We can put that shit to Charlie in the bed. Your arms around me. Give it up for fucking Ainsley.
You're thinking about me. No, don't pretend that you aren't. We're still obsessed that we just met. And when you fuck me, it's crazy. You're thinking about me.
Cause you talk that talk, give me talk all night.
Amazing, of course. But that was night one for that week. That was Troy night one for me because I also then saw him the following Thursday. And Friday. On the steps of the Sydney Opera House. So cute. And not triangulating where I live, but my new place that I'm at now has a ferry wharf in my suburb. So I literally caught the ferry to Circular Quay to see Troye Sivan. I wish I could go back in time and tell myself, even when I started making this YouTube channel, or 12 months ago, like, oh, by the way, you're going to be driving a Lexus and you're like going to be living in this suburb that's by the water that has a ferry that goes to Circular Quay. You're going to drive your Lexus home from your teaching job, get ready, and go to a Troye Sivan concert at the Opera House that you can take the ferry to. That probably sounds like basic to some people, but if I had told myself that 12 months ago or a few years ago, I'd tell myself, you're dreaming. Anyway, so saw Troye Sivan 3 times in that week, and that was so cute. The third night though, the Friday night, it was pissing down rain. Lucky I took a poncho, but I got drenched. But it was worth it. It sort of stopped raining like into Troy's first song or something like that. So it was worth it, but I was a drowned rat. December. So, oh my God, I need to go through my Apple Music replay, but I'll do that in a moment. Also, I've got on my notes Spider Saga, because the place that we live at now is surrounded by trees and there's a lot of spiders. So when we first moved in, there was a couple of spiders. They weren't very big ones, but that was just not a vibe. So I sprayed the place with that insect repellent spray that you sort of spray around the perimeter so they don't come in. That's supposed to last 6 months. It lasted maybe a month or two, and then we had some rain, and then like within 4 days we had like 3 huntsmen, and one of them was in my bedroom, like on my wall right next to my bed. So that's not a vibe. So we haven't seen any spiders for the last couple of weeks because I resprayed the perimeter. We let off some bombs. Yeah. Anyway, boring. That's my word of 2024, by the way. Even though all of these things I'm mentioning aren't that boring, but I'll explain that at the end. I saw The Substance. I watched The Substance finally, but I've been looking forward to that for months because I think Katya Zemlchikova, she keeps talking about it on like every podcast or Instagram that I watch of hers, and I finally saw it and it was actually so good. I want to watch it again. It was so good. Eras Tour final live stream. I watched the Eras Tour on a grainy live stream for the last time with another 100,000 people, and it was just so sad. So sad. But so the Eras Tour is over officially, not just for me, but for everybody. Crazy. But they were filming. She wore the same outfits for the 3 nights that they were at Vancouver, Toronto, wherever they were last. And she wore the same outfits and they were filming everything. But there's already Eras Tour movie. There's no Tortured Poets Department set on there. So are they going to bring out like another one? Or are they going to bring out a documentary? And they're still going to show the performances as well? Like, what are they doing with that? My prediction was that they'll bring out like a documentary part 1 and part 2, because they won't bring out this, like, the show goes for like 3 hours, over 3 hours. They're not going to bring out that plus all this behind the scenes stuff. So I think they'll bring out a documentary part 1 and part 2. I'm recording this on New Year's Eve, but I was predicting that she will announce something on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, because she's done that before. So maybe by the time I upload this video, that information is already out. But at the time that I'm recording this, there's been no word of it yet. So that's my prediction. Part 1 and part 2 documentary series, or it could even be like a series, like a 10-part series, and they go for an hour each or something. Because there's more than 10 errors now, but maybe. Anyway, but everyone was expecting debut, debutation announcements to happen, but no, that's okay. I still think they will both come in 2025. One of them in the April, one of them in the November periods. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. It was the last week of school. I finished up my 2nd year of teaching. Crazy. Yeah. Like, I can't believe 2 years down. I feel like I've grown so much in the last 2 years. I feel like I grew so much this year, actually. When I look back on this year, I feel like, yeah, compared to my 1st year of teaching, this year I've definitely come a lot further. I've definitely grown so much. And there's still so much more room to grow as well. Then it was Christmas. Had a lovely time with some friends leading up to Christmas, and then some family on Christmas Day. It doesn't get too crazy in my family on Christmas. Like, we just have like breakfast and lunch together, and then we sort of just relax. Like, it's a lot of people go wild and crazy, have these big events, but ours is pretty chill and laid back, which I don't mind. It's quite nice. So that was my Christmas. And then today it's New Year's Eve. Oh my gosh. Okay, so my Apple Music replay of 2024. I think through only a few videos on this page this year, I have mentioned some of my favorite songs for the week. So you probably won't be surprised what some of my top songs are. So, top artists. Are you even surprised? Like, you obviously know what this is going to be. My top artist was Taylor Swift, 12,178 minutes. Artist number 2, Sabrina Carpenter. Artist number 3, Troye Sivan. Artist number 4, Kylie Minogue. And artist number 5, Ariana Grande. Not even surprised there. So my top song. Now, no, this won't change because it's literally the last day of the year. But my top song, my number 1 song for the year with 131 plays, Less Than Me, Espresso. Because I definitely smashed the shit out of that song when it first came out, and even going to the gym for the next couple of months after it came out, it was like first song that played. So, of course, Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter. Number 2, Pretty When I Cry, Camila Cabello. That was also one of my gym songs as well. Around that same time, it was probably just one after the other. There's only 4 plays difference between them, so they were definitely just one after the other when I would listen to them. How Did It End? Number 3, 114 plays. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, when the replay very first came out in early December, How Did It End was 3, and So Long London was 4, and So Long London only had one less play than How Did It End, because So Long London is obviously my favourite song off the Tortured Poets department still to this day, and How Did It End is probably a very close second, to be honest. I'm surprised that How Did It End took over, but I think after Taylor sang How Did It End live, and I would see TikToks and Instagrams of people posting her singing the bridge to that song live, I would just then go crazy for the song and listen to it on my way to work all the time, and it's too relatable as well. Same with So Long London, that's obviously a bop, but yeah, How Did It End just took over. Now it's number 3. Number 4 is now Supernatural, Ariana Grande and Troye Sivan, which when that song came out, I was obsessed with it, but because I was seeing Troye Sivan at the end of November and Wicked had just come out, I was just fully feeling my Troye and Ariana vibe. So I listened to it so much while I was getting myself excited to see Troye live, but also just still in my Wicked phase, my Wicked fantasy. Then number 5 is Please 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 by Sabrina Carpenter. So cute. Such a good song. Anyway, my top album, by no surprise, is The Tortured Poets Department, the anthology. Album number 2, Midnights, the Till Dawn edition. Number 3, Short and Sweet, Sabrina Carpenter. Number 4, The Tortured Poets Department, just the standard album. Number 5, Something to Give Each Other, Troye Sivan, because that's been on repeat for the last month or so. Top genres, boring. And I think I have said in this channel before that I make a different playlist every month, and each new month is a fresh playlist of songs, and some of the songs carry over obviously, but my top playlist was June of this year with 3,194 minutes, and number 2 was May, 2,500 minutes. So I'm just trying to think, what was I going through in June? Like, for me to listen to music a lot more in June than I did any other month. But yeah, anyway, so that is my Apple Music replay that you didn't ask for. So cute. Now, that's 2024 done. I feel like I've covered everything that you've missed. Just talking about the car, I'm probably not going to show you that, I might show you a photo. But it's going great, I love it. Talking about my new apartment, I might give you a tour one day, I'll save that for another video, but it's going really good living with my friend. It's just so nice and refreshing, and it's definitely what I needed. Like, I look back on when I was living at my last apartment by myself and think, because of the trauma that is attached to that, it's nice to be somewhere fresh. Also, may as well mention this on here because why not? I started seeing a therapist from work. Like, how some, I think nearly every employer has to have it, or something like an EAP, Employee Assist Program, where you can reach out for counselling and stuff. I have spoken to a psychologist, I think that's their training, I don't know, a couple times, and that's been really good. So, yay, just a little update there as well, because that has been needed. I think I spoke to her twice in December, and then we'll see how the new year goes. Let's see if I need any more further mental health support. Is this subtle foreshadowing for what's to come? I don't know, but it was definitely needed towards the end of this year. I hate, because it's just so cliche, but everyone's like, thank God this year's over, 2025 is going to be so good and so fresh. Like, every single person says that every single year. Every single person, I swear to God, they always say, this year was such a shit year, can't wait for next year. It's like, I get it. You just want the year to be over, you're ready to start fresh. But is it going to be any better next year? Yes, I would agree, 2024 was not a great year for me, and I probably said at the start of the year in these YouTube videos that I was having a bit of a mentee bee. That's why I started this YouTube channel. I was having a bit of a mentee bee because I was like, I've got nothing planned for this year. It's going to be so boring. That's why that word is like my word of the year for 2024. Even though 2024 wasn't boring, the fact that I moved houses, got a new car, like I've made so much growth in my job and my career and whatnot, and I'm excited for the future of all of those things. But at the same time, like the Eras tour, like not boring at all. I went to Olivia Rodrigo, Coldplay, Troye Sivan, the Eras tour. Not boring things, but I don't know why. I still look back and those things were amazing, but I think just in my personal life, boring, like, I don't know. Did some fun little spontaneous things, but I don't know, maybe I keep comparing myself to what other people, like I have friends that went overseas this year and last year, and like just looking at that, like when I talk about what I did this year, yeah, I went to these concerts, got a new car, got a new place. I don't know, I just feel like other than those things in my personal life, what do you do in your free time? Boring, you know? So, I don't know, that was my word of 2024. But at the same time, I think it's just ironic that that's going to be my word of the year for 2024, because when I look back on some things, it was definitely boring, but then there were other things that were definitely not boring. So it's the irony of that, of me thinking that it was a boring year when it definitely wasn't. I don't know where I'm going with that, but that's just letting you know that that is my 2024. 2025. Some people like to predict what their word of the year is going to be going into a new year, but mine doesn't really happen until the year is has started and I'm getting a vibe of what the year's going to be like. Like, for example, 2021, like my word of the year was wholesome. We were sort of in and out of lockdown a couple of times, and I was just making the most of life and just doing so many wholesome things with my friends and just having such a great time. Like, I think 2021 was my peak. So I think every year since then, I have been comparing it to 2021, or even 2022 was a really good year as well. So, I don't know, I think I just keep comparing myself to those years when I think I was in my peak. But it's like, bitch, I'm 25. I'm still in my mid-20s. Which brings me to next year, January. I'm turning 26, which is still so young, I know that, but 26, entering the late 20s. Weird. But before my birthday, my housemate, one of my besties, not my bestie, one of my besties, because I know other friends of mine might watch this one day if they actually even are my real friends. We are having a little housewarming party, so we're going to have some friends over, so that should be fun. Then it'll be my birthday. I'm having 2 events for my birthday because my birthday is right around the time of Triple J Hottest 100, and everyone always makes plans for that. Invites, but also boring. So that always overshadows my big special day. So I'm going to have some friends over the weekend before my birthday and the weekend after, because my birthday is right in the middle of the week. So whoever's going to Hottest 100 can come the week before, and whoever's going to other things on the weekend before can come on the day of the Hottest 100. So those 3 weekends in a row is going to be housewarming, birthday number 1, birthday number 2, and then the week after that go back to school, go back to work. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I still don't know what grade I'm teaching yet, but I know I have a rough idea, but it'll be different. I was on kindergarten for the last 2 years, and next year's going to be a little bit different. But I'm excited for that. I'm excited to get some more experience in other stages, other grades. So next year's going to be a bit different for my job as well. I got quite comfortable towards the end of this year for kindergarten, so I think it's definitely what I needed. I don't want to get too comfortable in the one grade for too long. So I'm excited for the new challenge or the new experiences that will come. Literally the last day of February, I think is a Friday, I have Billie Eilish concert. the next day, the 1st of March, is Mardi Gras. I still don't know, like, this time last year I knew that I was walking in the parade, but they haven't actually put that out yet. So hopefully I'll be walking in the parade again at Mardi Gras, because that was just the most amazing experience of my life. Like, one of the most amazing experiences. So I definitely want to do that again. So Billie Eilish on the Friday, Mardi Gras on the Saturday, and then Kylie Minogue on the Sunday. I'm excited for that. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be a big weekend. Like 3 big nights it's going to be. So I might have to have the Monday off work to recover. Even though, like I just said, I don't have many days off work. I think I might need it. Might be best. And then towards the end of March, I think it is, I got Dua Lipa concert, which means it'll be my 3rd time seeing her. Slay. And then that's the main sort of things that are planned for next year. But also, I don't want to give anything away yet, because I'm a little bit scared that it might not happen, because it's a big deal. But I might be going on a trip mid next year, and that's all I'm going to tell you. Might be going on a trip. That's all I'm going to say. Little holiday. But I don't want to put that out there in case it doesn't happen, and then that's really sad if it doesn't happen. But it's in the works. So, you know what? I am going to put it out there. It is going to happen. So stay tuned, because that will be a fun time. That will be a fun YouTube video. Slay. And that's, oh my god, that's basically wrapping up the last freaking 5 and 6 months that I have missed of videos on here, and that is what I am looking forward to in 2025. So I can't believe that we've made it back to December already. Christmas is over. By the time I probably put this out, New Year's is over. Yeah, wow. So long, 2024. I think that's it. I do have some exciting plans for this YouTube channel, because I sort of set myself a challenge to do this channel for the year of 2024. I didn't know how much further it would go than that, but now that I'm literally sitting back down in front of the camera, it's just making me realize how fun it can be. It seems like a lot of work, which is I think why I put it off for the last 5 months, and because I was so busy the first couple of those months. But no, I'm excited. There's a lot of things coming up in 2025 that would be definitely good for this channel, and good for me to look back on. And like I keep saying, this channel is more for me to look back on. I don't really expect much out of it. Some of my friends and family watch it. Shout out to you bitches. But yeah, this is more of a thing for me to look back on in the future, and I love going back and looking at my old videos on this channel. So anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope that everyone has an amazing 2025. I hope it is everything you want it to be. Unless you're one of my enemies. I hope it is not a good year for you. Mwah. Kisses. Bye-bye.